Hello, everybody, and welcome to Daily with Doc. Let's go ahead and open up the Zoom room, folks. If you are watching us on a live stream and you would like to be in the Zoom room with us, please join us here on dailywithdoczoom.com. We are here to provide empowering information and allow you to ask questions of our guests, those things that you've been wondering about, just little things or big things that you can do to help yourself be more involved in your own health journey and make those empowered decisions to choose optimal health. So folks, today we are joined by an amazing individual who has been very instrumental in formulating some of the best nutraceuticals, supplements, vitamins, for those of you who don't know that big word, in the industry. And I am super excited to be able to have him here with us. Now, if you were invited by somebody specific and you would like to get more information, please get back with the person that invited you to check this program out. They took the time and they cared enough about you to share it. So we want to make sure that you get back with them. Okay. Now, this program is being sponsored by dailywithdoc.com. We have our replays that can be found there on Daily with Doc, plus some extras of information that you can use to help inform yourself and put more tools in your toolbox so that you, again, can make those decisions and make them not just haphazardly, but with information that is more on the natural side of obtaining better health. Now, this program is not meant to take the place of your primary care physician, nor is it meant to diagnose, treat, or cure any diseases. The FDA does require us to let you know this, but folks, your body is by divine design. And when you give that divine design what it was designed to have, it can function much better for you. So give us 90 days, and I know that you will probably feel like I did, an amazing difference. So today we have with us, like I said, one of the original formulators, and I think he still does formulations for the company Youngevity, Richard Renton. Now, Richard Renton is are you still on the board of directors, Richard?
No, there was when we went public, we had to change things around and put more women and diversity, and I was the lucky guy out.
Well, the lucky guy out, you still serve an amazing purpose as part of the Youngevity Science and Athletic Advisory Board. And for the past 20 plus years, you've even owned your own business providing nutritional products. And as somebody that attended the University of Oregon and Portland State, you earned degrees in sports medicine, health, physical education, chemistry. You've been an associate professor at Portland State University in health and first aid, and as an assistant athletic trainer for Portland State University. You were also part of the Portland Timbers soccer team and this Portland Storm football team as part of their training staff.
As the athletic trainer.
As the athletic trainer. And you also are on the board of directors based on the fact that you are board certified athletic trainer and National Athletic Trainers Association. So you've got a lot of experience when it comes to not just nutrition, but actually putting nutrition to work for people that need it the most.
Yeah, and so part of the job of an athletic trainer is to not only make recommendations to the athlete on what to do physically to get their body in better shape, but also take care of their body. And that includes not only rehab, but also diet and those type areas. And so I've been doing that since I was in my early 20s. I'm almost 70 now, so it's been a while. And so we the part about sports medicine that kind of was disappointing. So I found out that even though I was getting a paycheck from the university or the professional team, my job was to really get the athletes back on the field as much as possible, even though maybe getting some extra rest was really the better decision for the athlete. Unfortunately, the mighty dollar controls the situation. So I had a kind of a falling out with that profession and did some other things. And in doing so, I met Steve Wallach and then Dr. Wallach. And at that time, my wife, Roxanne, told them, well, he knows how to make that stuff. And that was, my word, almost 30 years ago, about 3 years before Youngevity was Youngevity. And I started to do design work for them, and Doc personally. And then once Youngevity started, away we go. All the initial products were all my designs.
Well, when I told Dr. Wallach what we were going to be talking about today, he's like, well, that's the perfect person to talk about it. And folks, today we're going to be talking about kind of the evolution of the multivitamin mineral complex that we know in several different phases of Beyond Tangy Tangerine. And I think let's go a little bit before the Beyond Tangy Tangerine line came in as well. So in the beginning, what was the first multivitamin mineral complex?
Ultimate Classic, which was a liquid. If you're a Youngevity distributor, you know it as 13201. It was the first one, and we were putting that together when we were forming the company. And I was meeting with Dr. Schauser and Dr. Wallach and Dr. Bois, and Doc told me, don't worry about taste, just make sure it has these optimum ingredients in it and bring it back to us and let us take a look. And so I put the formula together with just a little bit of orange extract and a little bit of tangerine extract, but it was pretty raw tasting. And they tasted it and they said, well, if everything's in here, you say it's in there, which it was, this will do the trick. And so, and it even included the plant derived minerals. And so we started to bottle that. Now, everyone has to kind of remember when Doc started the company, within 3 months we had it up and running, which is, if you think about it, kind of unheard of. Nowadays, you can't even get products in 3 months, even if you put the order in and you know the exact formula. So we were at high speed to get all the products out there, and it was a multivitamin with the plant-derived minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, 60 plus minerals, and some antioxidants in it as well, as far as CoQ10. But it was pretty harsh tasting. And after we were up and running for about a year, Steve Wallach and some other key distributors say, can we make another liquid that is a little more flavoring to it? And that's when the liquid version of Tangy Tangerine came out, and that was in 97. And so with that, with the plant-derived minerals, because it had a half dose in it, and EFAs and glucogels, is the development of what we know now as the pig pack. And
And
so,
that's where I started, was the
and
pig pack many years after it was developed. Now, you had mentioned that for the Ultimate Classic it is still available, folks. It's that good. And then the Ultimate Tangy Tangerine, still available. It's one of my 2 doses that I take each day. So after the Ultimate Tangy Tangerine, what got people or got you thinking or got them thinking that something needed to be changed?
well, it's not so much change in formula. What happened was we were becoming more of an international company, and
Mhm.
shipping water across the world really doesn't make a lot of sense. And shipping is expensive as is. I don't know if you've ever had to ship to Australia, but a pig pack would cost $80 to ship to Australia. And so Steve came to me with the idea of trying to make something that was in a powder form or without water. I'll phrase it that way. And that was about a 3 year project, because we didn't want to just mix the dry ingredients and put it in a container and send it out. We still wanted it to be a blend. In other words, we wanted it mixed. So we knew that when you would take a scoopful, you would get everything. And so
Mhm.
I was really stumbling and was struggling on it. And then I went to a trade show that was developing food that would last for 50 years. And when I was talking to the people about freeze dried, one of the people was saying we take these liquids and with all the food in it, and we spin dry it and we pull the moisture out. And that got me thinking. I go, okay, so you can take a slurry and you can force the liquid out. How do you control the heat? And they said, well, our mixing unit's kind of proprietary, but what we do is that as it speeds up and heats up, then we slow it down because it's the centrifugal force, like a dryer, that creates the heat within the liquid itself. And so if we slow it down, we can cool it down so we can keep it, so we pull all the moisture out without allowing it ever to get hot, which means we maintain the integrity of the product. And I go, well, have you ever done that with a nutritional product? And they gave me just a total blank look on their face. And they said, well, we don't, but we know someone that has one of these machines, because it's a size of, it's probably bigger than most people's living rooms. If you think about it, it's a flat disc, it spins around. And they gave me in contact with that company. And then I went out to New York to meet with them and said, this is our project. And they were making food out of it, but they also made nutritional products. They also made over-the-counter drug products, which means they had all the certifications that we wanted in the first place. And I says, well, can we try some experiments in, if I made you a liquid slurry, and I basically made a concentrated tangy tangerine, and we gave it to them, then when we started to mix it, what would happen? And we were able to develop the technology to make this a powder by pulling out about 97% of the moisture. And we shelf tested it. It was good for 3 years, which is much better than our liquids. And when we put it back in solution, it went into solution at about 94%. And so there was some falling out. I think if you mix any of the tangy tangerines today and you just let it sit on the counter, you'll get some fallout in it, because there is no perfect world. But that's how it came about. Sorry about my phone going. I'll probably mute it in just a second here. But we came out with the 1.0, or what I call the blue cat version, and we went from there. And then we talked about developing something that would have more antioxidants in it, but have less fruit in it, because we found some people that were sensitive to strawberries and things like that struggled with 1.0. And so we pulled out the majority of the fruit in this mixture and we put in mushrooms. And in doing that, we were able to get a much higher antioxidant, or ORAC score. Yeah, for people that don't know that terminology, it means oxygen radical absorption capacity. And it's a way to compare apples to oranges as far as which one's a better antioxidant. Well, we can do that with vitamins. We can do that with individual ingredients and as well as blends. And we were able to develop it more. And so that came along. And then there's always people that had trouble traveling, or they didn't like the powders and whatnot, and they wanted us to make a tablet. And so from there, we started to develop the Beyond Tangy Tangerine tablets, and away we go. And I can even tell you version 3.0 will be introduced probably in the first quarter of next year. And that will probably be a two-part powder, an AM and a PM version.
Wow. So there has been quite a bit of meaningful transformations between each one. And that's to meet the needs and desires of individuals, because it's not a one size fits all.
No, and it's the feedback from our customers or our distributors that pushes us in a particular direction. And that's pretty much true with all our products. The only reason why a product goes away is if it doesn't sell. And if people keep saying, I want this, I want this, I want this, then we come up with it. A good example is the vegetarian meal replacement shakes and things like that, as well as I-26 and products like that. And so we look at what the distributors are asking for, and then we try to take care of it with science. One of the disadvantages with that is that we sometimes will miss some trends, some real popular trends, because typically it takes us about a year to make a product. And so if something instantly becomes popular, we're about a year behind, because what we try to do is make a product that will meet a particular goal within your body. Microbiome. It's a pre, pro, and postbiotic type product to make your gut healthier. It isn't just a probiotic. You know, we wanted to make it better in all aspects. And so instead of just putting one ingredient in it, we put a family of 3 different ingredients in it and blended it together and made it better. Just like people made the comment, why can't you make improvements in Perpetual, which is a pet product that we had that was basically an antioxidant product for pets. And if you know much about antioxidants, it's dependent on the gut to be healthy for it to be effective. And so now we have Perpetual Plus, which has the I-26 in it to make it better and make the gut of your dogs or cats or even some birds, you have to kind of grind it up to give it to birds, can take advantage of it, make their gut healthier so they absorb their nutrients more effectively. You know, we have pictures of primarily dogs on Arthrogen and Perpetual, but there's no reason why a cat or just about any of your animals can take it.
Cats, birds, horses, cows,
Yes, yes.
turtles, mice, uh, all different types of eh, domestic rodents as well. So, yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. I love the Arthrodex and the pet line folks. So I know we spend a whole lot more taking care of our pets than we do ourselves sometimes. And we need to not forget that if something happens to us, who's going to take care of them? So we need to put ourselves right on that same level when it comes to taking care of our pets and taking care of ourselves as well. In the comments here, Anne is saying, she says, my husband takes the Ultimate Classic liquid and he agrees that it tastes terrible. He takes the Ultimate Tangy Tangerine, which does taste better, but there's a little bit of difference in calcium
Yeah,
levels
it
in
has
it.
half the calcium
Well,
in it. Classic has twice as much as Tangy Tangerine. We were making it with less vegetable glycerin in it, which means it's easier for stuff to fall out. And so we had to reduce that. It also has a half dose of the plant-derived minerals in it in the Tangy Tangerine version. And so those types of things, we've made some changes over the years. It's just like, you know, we talk about Europe and Southeast Asia that we ship a lot of product to, and they struggle with our plant-derived minerals because one of the first questions they always seem to ask is what plants are in it. And when you say it's fulvic acid from humic shale, they go, okay, but what plants are in it? And so it kind of creates some problems. So you might see some things like red algae or algae, seaweed. And the purpose of that is because then we can name those plants for the European government. And it pacifies them a little bit and they allow us to import the product. And so it's kind of a give and take on how we make these products. People always ask me in 50 years, are we going to run out of the humic shale deposit in South Utah? And, you know, eventually, you know, it is a deposit, yes, but I can tell you that Steve Wallach has already created a new source for that. Even though he won't talk about it, he actually has filed for patents to make it a special product. And so we will always be able to provide plant-derived minerals in an absorbable, highly beneficial levels, always.
yeah, that's fantastic. Because I know I don't want to be without, and I plan on living, you know, longer than the average American, as I think you do as well. Which, Richard, you're pushing 70. I would have never guessed that.
Yep, I'll be turning 69 in about 3 months.
Yeah. So you're looking really good for 69, my friend.
Thank you.
And folks, if you've got questions for Richard, please don't hesitate. Don't be shy. Raise your hand. You go to the Zoom menu, click on reactions. You'll see that option to raise hand. And if you are out on Rumble or YouTube or Facebook and you would like to ask a question or make a comment, please do so. I have an amazing team that is helping to keep track of those comments as they're coming in so that we can share your comments and questions here in the show, because that's what this is all about, folks. Just because we don't have Dr. Wallach as the main guest, which He is here in the room with us, listening in. He doesn't want to miss a beat. Hi, Dr. Wallach. Um, the questions are still getting answered. So if you have questions and you're not here live with us and you would like to ask questions, you can go to dailywithdoc.com. We do have an option there where you can sign up for our email list and submit questions, or go to that contact option on the website, and that sends me an email with your questions. And please let me know who shared this program with you, so that we know to make sure that you get back with them if you have any questions in regards to how to order. We will help you based on Dr. Wallach's protocols in getting the right combination of products specifically for you. But when it comes to ordering, we want to make sure you get back with the person that shared the program with you. If there is nobody to thank, I do have an amazing call team standing by for those who have never placed an order with Youngevity, who have never tried the products, and you're ready to pull the trigger. Because I know there's some of you that have been listening to Dr. Wallach for decades. And folks, it is now time. It is time to get into the 90 essential nutrients, because we're not fractionated nutrition, are we, Richard?
No, no. And, I want to give a shout out to Doc. He has taught me so much over the years, along with his friends, Dr. Schrouser and Dr. Dubois. And I miss all of them greatly because I'm up in Washington and Dr. Wallach's obviously down in California. I don't get to spend enough quality time with him as much as I do. But one of the things, if you're a new customer, I just want to point out is that Youngevity's always had the policy to double check with independent labs the quality of our products, even though we have contract manufacturers that we worked with for 27 years. We still send them to independent labs, and we require the manufacturing facilities to have third-party analysis test their facilities. So the federal government implemented a program about 15 years ago called CGMP, Good Manufacturing Practices. And when that came out and was announced, there was a couple companies that came out and said, well, you took it to this level. We're willing to do a certification program which will take it to this level. And NSF is one of them. There's a couple of them that are still with us. And we require all our manufacturers to meet those third-party levels of quality. And so it just, even though we don't discuss who our manufacturers are, the main reason is one time we did a study and we told people where the study came from, and they started to call the people at the university over and over again and asking them lots of questions. We try to save our manufacturers from doing that by only having a select number of people that can ask the questions. And so if you have a question about a particular product, you're more than welcome to send me an email and I'll respond to it. And I'll turn around and say, my email is really hard to remember. It's richard@youngevity.com. And you can send me an email saying, what about this? What about that? Is this in it? What's this CGMP? I see on some of the labels the NFF certification and all those types of things. And if I don't know the answer, I'll research and get the answer for you and get back to you.
Well, I love the fact that we have those certifications, because that just confirms that what's on the label is inside the container as well.
Absolutely.
And I was going to mention one of those reports, then I guess I'll stay away from it. But here's a question for you, because I
You can
have
rephrase
seen,
it.
huh?
You can rephrase it.
Okay. Okay, I'll think about the rephrase on that. But a question that I have, because I have seen reports that share the comparison between absorbability of something that you get on the counter at the corner store, a convenience store, and the absorbability of what's within the Youngevity products. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Well, first things first, if your gut isn't healthy, if you don't have enough acid in your stomach to break down certain nutrients, if you don't have enough probiotics in your gut with your flora in your system and you can't absorb it, doesn't matter at all which product you take. You know, people always ask me, what should I start with? And even though I love the Healthy Start Pack, I almost always start everybody on the Healthy Digestive Pack to try to get their gut healthy in the first place. And, you know, it's one of those things when you talk about nutrients is that when you bond something to an element, so let's say you have uh, um, uh, calcium carbonate and you have calcium amino acid chelate, you can tell the difference of the absorption. And so if someone puts on their label highly absorbable, but it's calcium carbonate, it's usually not the case. And it's when you can bond it to an amino acid, it has the ability to absorb into your body faster. The other thing is that the size of the molecule gets involved. And if you think about your cell as a big wiffle ball, let's just call it a wiffle ball, has a whole bunch of little holes in it. Maybe I'm dating myself. Maybe the younger people don't know what a wiffle ball is, but you know, it's a good example I can give. Uh, the molecule has to get inside. I mean, the element has to get inside the molecule. And if you come out with this great big cluster of molecules, your body literally has to break it down for it to absorb. One of the benefits of humic shale and fulvic acid is that it's only one or two molecules per one, and it will literally go straight into your cells. And that's why we have such high absorbability with our plant-derived minerals. And the best way that I can teach people to do it, it's kind of hard to do right now unless you're in Australia, is if you get a sunburn on the top of each of your hands, put the plant-derived minerals just on top of one hand, not the other one, and put it on every day and watch which one will heal faster. Well, I can tell you, it's going to be the one with the minerals on it because it literally can go into your skin. It can go through the layers of your skin and get into the damaged material and help your body repair it and things like that because it's small. Remember, your skin is your first defense. It's your largest organ. The idea is that it keeps bacteria and it keeps the majority of the viruses out of your body. And so, but the plant-derived minerals can go straight in. So it's a way that we can prove that our products are beneficial. We also use carriers sometimes. We have the CM cream, which I absolutely love, and it will take nutrients right through your skin and inside. And so we have what I used to call turbo creams. And that's when we used to take like the trauma oil and we would mix it with the CM cream and put it on, and it makes it more effective. It makes it do a better job. And we work with technology like that to do it. But you know, when the summer comes around and everyone gets a small, especially when if they're as white as I am, or pink if I get out in all the sun at all. If you get a little bit of burn, do an experiment and take some pictures so that you can show people what the difference is, because it will really be surprising what 2 or 3 days will do versus the typical burn takes what, a week to 10 days before it goes away and all your skin peels.
Well, I love the fact that we can take those plant-derived minerals, put them in a little spritz bottle, and they spritz nicely. They don't clog up everything because you've got those tiny little molecules that just you spray it on. I spray it on every day, whether I'm sunburned or not, just because I know the benefits of the minerals, that I like to do the inside out, outside in type approach to it. So for those of you, as we're coming into like the cold season and snowboarding and skiing and such, and you know, sometimes as you're going down the slopes, you're getting all that cold wind and you get snow or frostbite even. You can do that just as if you were with the sunburn, right, Richard?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then with Michelle and her passion about personal care products, you know, we have moisturizers, we have cleansers, we have exfoliators, we have waterless vitamin C that I particularly like, and you can put that on your skin. And guys, there's no big deal with putting a lotion on your skin to make it healthier. I remember when Michelle came out with the makeup line at the very beginning. She wanted Steve to go out on the road with her and do the makeup, and Steve didn't really want to do that. And then all of a sudden she turned around and said, "Well, Richard will go with me." And so she taught me how to put the makeup on, and we would go do trade shows in Tennessee and in New York. New York was an experience because I've never put, prior to that, I've never put makeup on an African American woman. And I found out if you put the wrong tones on them, they'll turn gray and look dead. And I remember one trade show, I did just about exactly that. And you know, I'm kind of looking at her going, oh my word, I'm in trouble and I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And she goes, you made me look dead, didn't you? And she was rather amusing about it. And I go, yes, but the nice thing about mineral makeup, it comes off real easily too. If we used to use a little bit of cleanser, we can take it off and try it again. And then I got a wonderful lady from Soul Purpose to come over and show me how to do that, especially if they have a tone difference in their T zone, which quite a few do, and how to blend it all out so it works better. But to get back to it, I know when they have me do the video work on like the Mineral Mind Tour and things like that, they had me put a little bit of mineral makeup on to take some of the pinkness out of my skin, so I don't look quite so burnt all the time. I'll phrase that. But I've been very fortunate. I have pretty good skin that doesn't have many wrinkles unless I found it.
Yeah, I can create wrinkles all day long. But yeah, so I'm loving the mineral makeup line, and you mentioned the waterless vitamin C. So ladies, if you've ever done mineral powders and you just can't figure out how to get them to go on smoothly or keep them from caking so much into the wrinkles that are there, the vitamin C, the waterless vitamin C from Youngevity, that is the key that I have found to be the fix to that problem, because I tried mineral makeup for many years and could not get it. I just couldn't get it. I wanted it. I knew the benefit of putting minerals on my skin because everything that you put on your skin eventually gets into your bloodstream, and I didn't want those chemicals. But I fought with being able to get it on smoothly. And that waterless vitamin C was just absolutely fantastic. Now, you had also mentioned just a few minutes ago about fads and trends, okay, and being behind a little bit. One thing that I love about what we do, Richard, is through Dr. Wallach's research, he found out what nutrients were needed within the body. So that's really not going to change as far as what nutrients, maybe how many nutrients because of deficiencies. And that's where Youngevity just does the whole body, right? It's like it's
Yeah,
not a
but
one size fit all, but it kind of is.
you need all 90 essential nutrients, and there's probably going to be more than 90 as we develop our research, but there's certain time of the year that there's certain benefits. And we were talking about how we're getting into the winter and it's getting colder and whatnot. And so increasing your zinc kind of makes sense right now. Increasing your antioxidants with Cell Shield RTQ or Purmeric, or one of those types of situations where you're building up your immune. I always tell people during the winter they probably should take an extra probiotic every day to keep their gut healthier so that they don't come down with the colds and all those types of things. And then be smart. Don't let people sneeze in your face, right? Try to sneeze in your arm. I remember one time, since Doc was on here, we were over in Australia and we were going down an escalator. And I reached out and grabbed the handle on the escalator to keep my balance, and he was behind me, and I felt this little head slap on the side of my head. And he goes, do you know how dirty that black thing is? And he was just looking out for me. So he's my angel over my shoulder. And he says, you know, we need to come out with something we can put our hands to kill all those types of things. And that's when, and this is way before the pandemic. And so, and we've been having products that will do that for years and years and years now. And so, you know, you just look at what's going on in our current society, and what the challenges are. I've had customers call me that are my age or a little bit younger that are having some respiratory challenges and whatnot. They want to avoid some of the infections that are out there, and I get some essential oils, breath of life, and I have them cup it over their nose and mouth and breathe in deeply, or put it in a forgot the name of it, aerator, whatever they're called, and go ahead and breathe that in, and that will help a lot. And taking more antioxidants and try to prevent direct contact, and so those types of things. But during the summer, I always take more EFAs because my skin dries out more. During the winter, I always increase more antioxidants and zinc. And I'm trying to remember the last time I got the flu. It's been over a decade.
That's awesome.
It's been
And I
over a
think you're
decade.
thinking of diffuser
Diffuser, thank you.
for your essential oils. And Youngevity has some really awesome ones, including one that's in their Christmas catalog, their gift giving holiday catalog. Super cute diffuser. So, folks, if you're looking for a good diffuser, get with the person invited you to this program and say, hey, I want a diffuser and some essential oils that'll benefit me. And they'll get you hooked up. So
I
if
have a
you,
Christmas tree in the house right now going. So I don't use a real tree. It makes it smell very fur-like, I hear. The other
yeah,
thing I want to mention is that I try to buy from my own office, and my female relatives all know about wireless vitamin C and have already put requests in for Christmas presents. And so I had to bring 7 up on an auto ship for me, so I can hand them out as presents.
that's it. And folks, if you're looking for your own business, why not look this way? We work with consumables, things that people are looking for because they want to live longer, and you can buy from yourself. I mean, it's kind of a win-win situation. And I love the fact that I can go Christmas shopping in my own store as well. So very awesome. Now we've got several questions here. We've got about, just under 20 minutes, Richard. But Charlotte is writing, she says, I have a crazy friend that has his own chickens and is baking his eggshells in the oven for 15 to 20 minutes, then blends the powder and puts them in his drinks and food. Is that a good idea? She'd like to know what your input on that is.
So when we have products that we manufacture, he's trying to make a similar product to I-26, immune support. We test it. It's just like, can you uh, take our plant-derived minerals in the soil revitalizer and put them in water and make your own plant-derived minerals? With the plant-derived minerals, we have an exact amount that we want in there, 16,000 milligram solution, or a 32,000 milligram solution. So we actually test it. We actually take the I-26 and we test it. Would he get benefit from it? Yes, but he doesn't know if he's overdoing it or underdoing it. A lot of people try to make their own colloidal silver by putting an electrical charge through a silver bar and submersing it in purified water. And then they do it by time. Well, time doesn't tell you the exact concentration on how many parts per million. So you're kind of rolling the dice on whether it's as healthier for you as you can. And the amount of time and effort that he's taking, he can probably get the I-26 as well. It's not that expensive of a product. And I'd probably encourage him to go that way because it goes through all our testing and procedures to get it to where we want it to be.
And then, so I would do something like that similar and give it back to my chickens. Because do you happen to know what temperature it has to reach in order to kill all of the bad pathogens and bacteria that might be on those eggshells?
Doc might be able to give a good educational guess, but I try not to. I could find out for you though.
It's pretty high. And personally, if I don't have to put those things into my body, I'm not going to.
I
But
can
my
tell you though,
chickens,
I eat 2 to 3 eggs a day every day.
well, do you eat the shells too?
No.
Neither do I. They're a little crunchy. Next question. So Rod asks, if there were only two products that you could take or afford, which would you choose?
Well, that's easy. Ultimate Classic and an essential fatty acid. If I was on a really tight budget, I would go ahead and do Prohoba, but I like EFA Plus because it's a blend of omega-3, 6, and 9. And so Classic and EFAs.
Perfect. And then over here we have Sportus with a question. He says there are so many fractionated products on the market. Was YGY the trendsetter on nutrition supplements that others are now bandwagoning?
So when we first started out with the liquids and Doc gave me guidance on what we want, there really wasn't anything like Classic on the market. There wasn't any liquid multivitamin or especially with humic shale in it for the plant derived minerals. There just wasn't anything. And so we were the first guys that started to do it. And one of the challenges when we first started to make Classic is that if we didn't mix it in the right combination of ingredients, ladies, when you make a cake, if you don't mix it in the right kind of, it either goes flat or it doesn't get as big as it should and whatnot. And I can tell you, when we mixed the 90 plus ingredients that are in Classic, we actually had some bottles blow up because it gassed and we had it sealed and the gas would expand. And it wasn't like we had botulism or anything like that. And I don't want to imply that, but it was a learning curve on how to make the stuff right. I can tell you now, if you open up a bottle of Classic and you really look at that seal that's on the inside of the cap on top of the bottle, you'll see about the size of a pencil lead little dimple in it. And that's actually a one-way valve to allow some of the gas to come out because there's always going to be that. We don't want to have a 100% pure. It's a one-way valve though. Air can't get in. It's just that can get out. And we do that so that we don't have those types of problems. But we really were the starting company of that kind of things. There was a couple other companies prior that Doc worked with that did have some liquids, and I'm sure he was 100% involved in those. But Youngevity has really taken it to a new level, just like no one really has the Beyond Tangy Tangerine powders like we do yet either. And not many people that I know of even brag about having an ORAC score like we do in the BTT tablets. And so we're kind of leaders in this. I know at one time, 20 years ago, the Canadian government did a survey on what they considered the best multivitamin on the market. The United States doesn't do it, but Canada does it. And we were in the top 5 every year with Ultimate Daily. And so that's a product that we still have and people use a lot of. And so we're proud of our liquids, we're proud of our powders, and taking the leading step on striving Dr. Wallach's philosophy of 90 essential nutrients and making it available for everybody.
That's awesome. Now, with the 2.0 version, those pre and probiotics were added to it. Does it have postbiotics also?
No, there is certain nutrients that are known like GDL, which feeds your gut with health. And I have to admit, one of the disadvantages of being 68 is I don't have all 2,000 products memorized formula-wise anymore. And so I would have to read the label to make sure if it had GDL in it, but that would be considered a post-probiotic to feed the bacteria that's in your gut to make it healthier. We have it in several products, but I'm not
Flora
sure if it's in.
FX and GDL is in Flora FX. So yeah, okay, which is in the digestion pack, folks. So you have the 90 essential nutrients with the Beyond Tangy, or one of the Tangy Tangerines, the Osteo FX, the EFA Plus, then you've got your ultimate enzymes and your Flora FX. That makes up the Healthy Body Digestion Pack, which is an excellent place to start if you are just looking into stopping the fractionation of nutrients going into the body and getting a balanced synergistic blend of nutrition flowing through the body into the cells, so that as we are creating new cells, the cells themselves have what they need to create healthier cells. So that's proven by science. That's not just us saying it, folks. That's proven time and time again through science that the body is continually regenerating cells. And through common sense, if the cells don't have any food to build on, are they going to be healthy? No, I don't think so. Next question.
There's a really funny thing, and I'll let you ask your question. So I'll do this really quick. I didn't realize this until I read the research on it. There is more nerve paths going from your brain to your gut than any other organ in your body. In fact, almost any three organs of your body. Your gut brain connection, going back and forth on what's going on there, is probably the most concentration of nerve effects going back and forth in your body. And I find that interesting. What does your brain considers the most important thing? A healthy gut.
Yeah. Well, and I'm glad that you mentioned that because we have Dr. Joanne Conaway, who is a gut specialist, and she is going to be coming on and talking about that gut brain connection, folks. So make sure that you are in our newsletter and following us, whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, Spotify. I mean, we're on so many different platforms right now. Make sure that you are following us and staying connected so that you know when our guests are coming up, or be able to catch the replay from the important information that we have coming to you. Next question, Richard. How can we get more athletes and younger people to see the need for the YGY products prior to injury?
Part of the challenge with working young people is they have a sense of immortality. They can get away doing pretty much what they want. I think a lot of it has to do with the coaching staff as well as the sports medicine. I know I mentioned sports medicine, but really, the kids in Little League have coaches, but they don't have athletic trainers. And if we can encourage those people to tell the kids, you know, less carbohydrates, no Coca-Cola, treat your body with respect, take some nutrients and things like that, that's a plus. And then if you want to take it a little bit farther, introduce them to rebound first, and to the athlete to help their body recover in between strenuous activities. I was a volunteer fireman and EMT for 12, 14 years, and I got our fire department on rebound, and they still take it. Because fires get hot and those types of things, and they need to take care of their body. And so I think the way to do it is to work with the coaches. I know most little leagues and whatnot have little league associations, and if you can get in front of them and just say, idealistically, 90 essential nutrients is what your body needs. It doesn't need Coca-Cola. It doesn't need Red Bull. It doesn't need all those drinks like that. And then introduce them to rebound and maybe some basic. Just the key thing to remember, and it's one of the things Doc taught me, is almost all mammals need the same nutrients. It's just that an elephant needs more than a human, and a human needs more than a mouse. And so you take everything in proportion to body weight. And if you keep that in mind, and you have my grandson plays little league, and I doubt if he weighs 80 pounds at this point. And my granddaughter does hip hop, and she works really hard at that hip hop and that dancing. And they both take the nutrients, but they don't take as much as I do because I weigh 200 pounds and they don't. And so kind of keep that in mind. I always tell people our doses are designed for adults. And so if you have a person that's half the size of the adult, the good starting point is half the dose of the product.
Absolutely. And I'm glad that you brought that up, because a lot of people say, well, what do I take for, so and so that's only 75 pounds? And then the next person they ask is for 300 pounds. And it is by weight. Dr. Wallach talks about that all the time as he's giving recommendations. That's one of the most important questions he asks. Well, how much do they weigh? And that's because nutrition is by weight. You're not going to give 10 pounds of asparagus to an infant. And as far as 10 pounds of asparagus goes, I don't know anybody that can physically eat that, but I love the fact that I'm getting a lot of my vitamins, or my minerals and vitamins and vitamins from my vegetables, because we use vegetable extracts, whole food. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, folks, if you are a coach or a coach, make sure that you share this program with them, and let's get them involved in making even bigger impact into the lives of those little ones that they are touching, whether they're little or big. because I've got some big athletes as well in my family, including my 3 granddaughters that are dancing and another one that's starting to dance. They need that supplementation as they are working their muscles. They need that extra support to keep those muscles strong and build them as they're sweating. They're not just sweating out water, folks. That's a slurry of minerals that the body really needs to hold on to, but it's going to be sweating out. That's just the whole dynamic of how the design has come into being able to, keep the body cool and regulate temperatures as well. So hydration, but not just water, needs to be hydration with purpose. Now, we only have about 5 more minutes. Let me see. There was another question here. Oh, okay. So AJ wants to know, how do we get one of those fancy YGY golf shirts, Richard?
Oh, one of the nice things about it when we had conventions is that we had an apparel section, and I want to say they still have shirts and whatnot in your back office. I'm not quite sure how to get there, but if there again, just like I said, if enough distributors turn around and say, I want a shirt, whoops, she pointed this way. If you want a shirt, just start sending emails into the corporate office, and guess what will happen? I know that with the 300 Club, of which I have not missed a month in 5 years, but Sean Brown and Elise send me a shirt 2 times a year, 3 times a year.
I'm collecting those shirts too. I've missed one in 4 years. 1 month and 4 years. I was really bummed about it. But I don't have to buy another t-shirt, that's for sure. I've got a nice collection. And folks, you can too. I love the fact that they are putting these really fun designs on t-shirts that we can use as we're going about our days, and just give that extra little smile to people's faces that also draws some attention to what we do, which is helping others and doing it with purpose, because there are so many people that are hurting, folks, looking for what you have just heard and wanting to know, what can I use to put in my body that's going to be more beneficial, because I'm getting sick and tired of putting chemicals and needing more and more chemicals to mask the symptoms of the chemicals that I initially started out with. And I'm still sick, if not sicker. So folks, get back with the person that shared this program with you. If there is nobody to thank, call us at 855-949-3377. Go to our website, dailywithdoc.com. Sign up for the email list and also use that contact option. Another fun thing that I have there on the website is, what should I take? And on that page, it goes through the 90 essential nutrients and then what is added to create our different packs, like the brain and heart pack, the digestion pack, the athletic pack, the blood sugar pack, the brain and heart pack. But they all start with the foundation, and that is the healthy body pack. So feel free to use that resource on the website, dailywithdoc.com. And we also have Dr. Wallach's Good Foods, Bad Foods list on the website as well. Well, folks, we are at the end of our show. Thank you so much, Richard, for coming on with us. We greatly appreciate you. And I do want to do a shout out to all of our listeners out on KOMY and KSCO who are continuing to plug in and listening to what has transpired because of the work of a very great doctor who is still going strong, folks. I get so many questions. What happened to Dr. Wallach? Is he okay? Yes, he is okay. And for those of you who are on video, I'm just going to add him to the spotlight so he can wave. And Dr. Wallach, you can unmute yourself and say hello, but don't take my thunder away, because folks, we now have something Dr. Wallach was talking about for many, many months, and that is the flip chart, the 90 for Life Crusade to save humanity and the world. that features Dr. Wallach, work he has done, so many things, including people that he has helped, that many of you are going to be very familiar with the names that are mentioned here in this flip chart, and also many of the misdiagnosed conditions that relate back to what Dr. Wallach talks about, osteoporosis of the skull, and also the need for cholesterol. So get your flip chart. It will help you understand yourself, but also share with others the benefits of taking the 90 essential nutrients that Dr. Wallach has found through his research and brought to us through a company called Youngevity, which our guest today, Richard Renton, has been with Dr. Wallach since the beginning and coming up with formulas that actually absorb and do the body good. So, Dr. Wallach, did you want to add anything to that?
Yes, thank you. Well, the whole purpose of that flip chart is to give credibility, okay, to the programs. Now, there's so many famous people in there that we have, football players, basketball players, pastors, actors, actresses, government people, and that they were failed, okay, and being helped by medical doctors. We're talking about people like Pat Boone, Danny Glover, Andy Young, people like that, Theo Ratliff, Mike Glenn. All these people were in trouble. They went to the best doctors, couldn't be helped. We helped them with the 90 essential nutrients, okay? And all these stories are in there. And so this helps somebody who's starting out, who's just been with us for a week or two, and they're talking to somebody. This gives them credibility. Why would these people come to a little company like Youngevity to get healed when they could go to the best doctors in the world? Well, they did go to the best doctors in the world, and they failed them. And so thank you so much, Richard. He's been with us for so long. Richard has done so many great things. He's definitely a blood relative in every way, shape, or form. We cannot thank him enough. Thank you, Rebecca, for setting this up and your team. And we're looking forward to growing more. But this flip chart is a tool of, it gives credibility. If we were to put all the nutrients in there that need to be given, this thing would be 15 foot thick and cost $25,000. So we just said, here's Pat Boone, here's Danny Glover, here's all these various athletes and movie stars and so forth, and pastors, and here's their stories. And so please, please, please take advantage of this information, and you will be blessed with people sending more people to you.
Yes, and folks, you can get your flip chart by calling 800-755-4656. That's 800-755-4656. Thank you so much, Dr. Wallach, for joining us here, and Richard for joining us here as well. As we were talking and during this, I think there's another Zoom coming up where we're going to invite you to come back and let's talk specifically towards new athletes and starting young. So if you would be honored to be my guest on that program as well, that would be greatly appreciated in the future. Thank you again. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. And if I could get my team on with me, I couldn't do this without them, as we have several different platforms that we're working on, making sure that everything goes smoothly. I can't thank my production manager enough. And we're doing training, folks. So I love the fact that we can train people because we have so many people that are sharing this passion with us, so that one person doesn't have to do everything. And as one person needs to take time off for their family, they're able to do so. So good job, Sherry. We've got Ruth Ellen Sanchez, who is my production manager, who helps to keep us all organized and everything running smoothly, including running some of our trainings. We have Marilyn Pizzera, who is fingers. I mean, she's an amazing typist, folks. So if you were here live with us in the Zoom and you had that chat option open, you got to see her work. as she was repeating things that were being said within the program to help you be able to then go back and write it down or take a screenshot. And that is one of the biggest benefits of being here with us live in the Zoom, because that's not information that we share out on the different platforms. And we have Sherry. Sherry is learning how to do the setup and helping us throughout the different parts of the program. So thank you, Sherry, for all that you do and helping also to let people in and keep an eye on the chat and the cameras and keep it a safe place. And we have AJ, who is doing much of the same as well, who helps on the technical side also, and helping us get out to all of the different platforms. And I think we're on 15, 16 right now. So folks, if you're on one of those platforms and you have the option to just shoot us a hello, let us know that you're there, share this program with other people, and, you know, keep plugged in because there's some great things on the horizon. And we have many, many people with us here live in the Zoom room who are certified holistic health coaches dedicated to help others find a better health journey. If you have a skill that you would like to use to help us, help yourself build something with purpose, please reach out, get back with the person that shared this program with you and say, hey, I want to be part of something bigger than myself that is making a positive impact in the lives of others. Because folks, as we're working within our own families, within our own communities, together, we can do exactly what Dr. Wallach's mission is, and that is the crusade to save the world and humanity, vice versa. So again, get back with the person that shared this program with you, or go to, if you have never spoken to anybody before, go to our website, dailywithdoc.com, use that contact us option and reach out to us. Let us know that you have a heart to help as well. Until next time, my name is Becca Dukes. So happy that you are here to join us. And tomorrow we have pharmacist Ben Fuchs on with us, including Jonathan McCollier, and we will be talking about something new on tomorrow's program. Bye for now.